Welcome to Brutally Honest Talk Radio. We are glad you're here with us. I am Inger, and I'm here with Elmo and Anthony. He's behind the scenes keeping it all together for us. But we're glad to have you here. Elmo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's a beautiful day, and it's been a while since we recorded here, so ready for us to hit some other topics. So thank you for joining us, and we got a good show for you.
Good deal. Well, I know yesterday was the primaries. Everyone had to go out and vote. It was the presidential primaries, so that was going on. And today, again, we're hitting election season, and we're hitting the ground running. So we're off to the races. What are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, so today was on my mind. I want us to talk about this thing called the PACE Act. It's something that I recently saw with there was a group of people speaking somewhere, and this is basically the PACE Act is fighting for the right to where a rap artist's lyrics have crime or criminal activity in them, that it doesn't implicate them if they get on trial for a crime. So previously, and it wasn't always this way, but in recent years, if somebody was talking about selling cocaine or hurting someone or doing whatever they did, and it lined up with evidence, then they use this as something where it's basically like a self-confession. Okay. So there's one person spearheading this, and there was this group, and they had a banner behind them talking about the PACE Act. So that's really what it is. It's saying, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do not take any of the lyrics of what this artist was saying that they did and how it coincidentally matches up to the city they said they lived in and a blue mansion, and they happen to have a red Porsche. It's all strictly coincidence. Don't pay any attention to that. So people already know how I feel about this. It should be admissible as evidence. Now, if you didn't write your own lyrics, that's really bizarre how things are matching up. But if you did write it, if you were the ones that is speaking it and you said it, and really if you're stupid enough to put real life events into the music, then you deserve to be found guilty in a court of law.
Kind of get what you get. That's what it sounds like. So if I understand it correctly, what's going on is that they're making this rapper ABC is making this music, and they have lyrics that they're going to shoot somebody in this particular town and that sort of thing. And then that comes to pass. And oh, by the way, they were the people involved in it. Right. But they don't want that to be used against them in a court of law.
Yeah, that's true. And then sometimes rappers, they talk about what they did 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And they say, hey, give the coordinates, longitude, latitude. You can go and find where I buried the body. And then you go there and it's just coincidence. So it's not Crump, it's somebody else, but some lawyer and some group is advocating, like, this is how you consider you're protecting your people by not letting free speech be used. So I think one of the reasons for this is because, like, we have the Fifth Amendment, where someone can plead the right to not say anything,
not to incriminate themselves.
Anyone that's on trial, you never heard O.J. Simpson's voice during the whole trial because he never took the stand. It's kind of suspect. But so my recorded voice that has sold records to 1 million people, if my voice is saying things that are lining up with what I'm being on trial for, what I'm being charged with, then that's problematic for my lawyer winning my case. Not me, but I'm saying the person who's in that position.
Absolutely. So then the song would have to have been created before the crime took place, or the song was created after the crime took place. So they just don't want the lyrics to be used, period.
Yeah, period. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Good luck with that. Didn't it when we were kids, when we were little, not too little, but in college and that sort of thing, just going into college, these rappers, they would sing about these things, but they were middle class, lived in great neighborhoods, had wonderful parents, just kind of great upbringing, but they were singing about these things. Yeah. So it seems like these days that these rappers are actually not just doing it, but this is where they come from. And now they're going and enacting these things because that's what they're doing, some of them anyway. So it just seems like, I don't know. I feel that it should be used. I mean, if they're going to go out and do harm to another person or property or that sort of thing, they're singing about it, they're making money off of it, then technically they're making money off of crime. And that's not allowed, technically. Yeah, that's not allowed. Right. So, interesting.
And, the first rule of Fight Club.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
and those who are familiar with The Sopranos, there was a point where Christopher, Tony Soprano's nephew, he had to be taken out because he started to get into filmmaking and writing scripts, and he wasn't even he changed all the names, and he wasn't even using the same occurrences, but because he kind of knows things that happen and how people think and the way things pan out, he was looked at as a threat. And they got in a car accident, and then Tony conveniently choked him out, where, they could say the cause of death was a car accident. But it's kind of like that's the mafia. And even they know. They're smart enough to know that. So, yeah. And then also, when you were saying that, or when we were kids, like I was thinking about Double Dutch Bus.
Right.
And it's telling a story.
Yes.
And so you could tell when it's saying, I got a big screen TV, I got more ships than the Army, and so I can watch the Knicks play basketball. I'm moshing it up, but you know what I'm saying? Where you could tell they were exaggerating, and it made it fun.
Right.
Because it's okay for art to be abstract and like that. So over time, there's this thing about keeping it real. Right. And so it's like, don't talk about anything you don't do. And it's like, poetry is exaggerated to one degree or another.
True. So
anyway, there's this thing. I don't know if PACE stands for something. That's an acronym.
Right.
But it's like we're this is like everybody on this camera was black. Like we feel like we have to fight this or advocate for this. Yeah. So. Anything else you wanted to say about that?
No, has it passed, or is it just being proposed?
It's a proposal or something that they're fighting for. I don't know when it's going to come up to be voted on, but it's like, look, you can say whatever you want to say, but if you are not engaged in criminal activity, you don't have anything to worry about.
Absolutely.
You don't, and the truth will come out. There still needs to be witnesses. There needs to be DNA, depending on what the crime was.
Has to go through the process.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you want to put on a cape and talk about how you're flying through the air and all of this. Fine. Go ahead. So, you're an entertainer. You chose to be an entertainer, not a criminal. So make it fun, make it entertaining. And stay away from anything that's going to send you to the big house.
Right. And if a person had said it and not put words to it, they would use that against that person in a court.
Yeah, right. But because it rhymes.
There you go. It rhymes and there's music. There you go.
Yeah, right. So that's one thing. So we're in March now. February just ended. Black History Month, and just to talk about that a little bit, and my ideas on this over the year. First of all, it's okay to have Black History Month. It's okay to have that. I know it was born out of there not being enough recognition in the history books.
Understandable.
This is what it has become: is Black history accomplishments of upstanding citizens. And things for us to be proud of. So it's like a month-long celebration. You got Pride Month, you got Black History Month. Except with Black History Month, there's no parade.
True. Well, there's a short month. I mean, it's got time.
only a few weekends.
Yeah, right.
So that's what it has become. So this is what I would like to see is the history books and there's already this happening to some degree, but going forward, let's let history books, if it's American history, include all of American history.
Absolutely.
And the things that they put in history books are things that affect people today. Things that were done. Charles Drew, he definitely deserves his place in history because he created blood plasma, a product and a system which is still to this day saving thousands of lives.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
over in the Ukraine-Russia conflict and with Israel and Hamas, they're using blood plasma. They're using what came from Charles Drew's invention.
Absolutely.
You know, so it transcended international borders, and I don't know if Drew ever got even the patent on it because he died tragically and wasn't able to benefit from his own creation.
Yes.
So,
well, with Black History Month, I don't know. I'm kind of over all the, I'll call it affinity months and celebrations and that sort of thing. We're Americans. We're Americans first. So all of this Black History, Women's History, and else March is Women's History Month, and then there's going to be Asian Pacific Islanders Month, and this
really,
that's in what's this? April, maybe May or April. That is. So now every affinity group has their month, they have their week, they have their day, they have whatever. Enough is enough. If we're going to do, I'm kind of tired of Black History Month, honestly. If we're going to do that, let's include it and just call it American history, period. Yeah. That's it. I mean, we're all in this together. So, like they say, there are no atheists in the foxhole. When everybody is under pressure, it doesn't matter what anybody's color is or anything like that. So I'm kind of over it, and at times it's been used as a weapon. I think for Black History Month, from there from Black History you go to DEI, and then you go to inclusion, and then everybody's got to be included in this. Let's just stop it. Let's just learn our history as Americans. There was good, there was bad. Let's take it all in, and let's go forward.
So you're not down with the participation trophies?
I am not down with participation trophies. And as a side note, something I was on Facebook today, we all know how Facebook is. On Facebook today, the guy that used to play Dumbledore on the Harry Potter series, he passed away in September 2023. According to Facebook, he gave a participation trophy to his mistress in his will. So I'm like, ugh, that's, yeah. So
what
yes.
What kind of trophy? I mean,
he's been married to his wife for 61 years, and he had an affair with this lady for 20 years. In his will, I think he gave her and the two kids a participation trophy, the two kids he had with him, and $10,000.
A real trophy.
A real trophy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not down with participation trophies at all.
Definitely not those
side
kind.
note. Definitely not those kinds. But yeah, it's enough already. Enough. Yeah. Let's bring this together. Let's come together as Americans and move forward. And I just think, in before Obama, when Bush was in office and everything, we didn't have all this division going on. As a matter of fact, September 11, 2001, we all came together. People on the Capitol singing for America. So why can't we have that attitude every day? Why do we have to wait until something drastic happens in order to have that attitude? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I wish that they would call it more of kind of a celebration month or something festive, because like you mentioned, the Pacific Islanders and every race has made contributions, have done significant things in history. I don't know if you have like a month's worth of for the Croatians, right, or what the Dominicans have done in American history. I don't know if there's enough of that to go on. But it's like I've seen things where, look, I'm not sure it was a streaming service that has movies. I don't know if it was Amazon, Netflix, or what, but it was like, we celebrate Black history. So, you got sections of movies where it's thrillers, comedies, whatever. So it said, we celebrate Black history. And then the movie below it was like Foxy Brown.
Oh, gosh.
So it's like, This is what is this? That's not even a true story.
Is that what we're doing now? Right. Exactly.
So doing that, and then also on Bounce or some network that shows primarily Black films. They went to a commercial during February and were like, and now Black History Moment. And they show the Supreme singing.
Oh, my gosh.
Like you don't see this in regular history where, at any time they take a recording artist from 40 or 50 years ago, unless they're just giving a tribute to that artist. But, that's not my history. Like it's limiting to entertainment and things like that. Yeah. And then because of it being political so much, people like Colin Powell and Ben Carson get the short end of the stick.
Absolutely. Clarence Thomas. Yes. Yeah.
Anybody,
Condoleezza Rice.
yes. Please let me know when you see a statue of Ben Carson where he's sitting on a park bench with his arm out, finally carved like in bronze or something like George Floyd got.
Right. That's a whole,
Because I don't want to teach or tell my kids that being a victim makes you a hero.
Exactly.
Right. I want to point to the Buffalo Soldiers or whoever it is, and I want to be able to say, well, there's some things in their life that you could emulate,
right?
That you could model yourself after. I can't look at George Floyd's life and go,
pinpoint.
There's nothing he did that I really want you to do because it's going to lead to you being in a bad place.
Exactly.
So we need to be careful about that.
Absolutely. George Floyd, 3 funerals for a counterfeiter, a drug person, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. No. And honestly, do people really know the history? We have these months, but no one's really learning the history.
Right.
I mean, they really aren't.
Yeah, I would say, I was thinking about that too. Like if people are interested we observe Labor Day, Memorial Day, whatever it is, because we're supposed to at least reflect on people that have died in war or whatever the holiday is. Right. With Christmas, I don't know why anybody would celebrate it if you don't take a few moments to think about the birth of Jesus.
Right.
So, the best thing to do is when someone has done something with their life, what they've spent their time doing, like observe that. Mm-hmm. So you're observing what they've done, and if you really want to celebrate Black history, and your kids to learn, first of all, you go and learn something.
That's it.
Learn something that you don't already know. Because there's a lot of people and significant folks in Black history, and then teach your children. Like you don't have to wait or depend on government schools to teach your kids about the accomplishments of Black people. Like that's for you, that's for us, that's for your family, for you to know. But a big part of why we should be proud of that is a contribution to American society.
Absolutely.
Like the traffic light, Garrett Morgan, something that everybody uses every day, and countless people get tickets for running red lights.
Right.
If it weren't for Garrett Morgan.
It's a government revenue generator.
Yeah, right. Right. Whatever race you are, red, yellow, and green.
Absolutely. So that makes sense.
Right, and I guess we'll go into this. So, a couple weeks ago? So first, let me start. There were radio commercials.
Okay.
The first one a couple weeks ago, and then one today on the way here that I heard a different one. So a couple of weeks ago, there's a woman that comes on. Clearly, she's a Black woman. Sounds like an older woman, and she's saying, President Biden cares about our people. He's working for us. He's a great president, and unemployment is the lowest it's been in 50 years, and that kind of thing. So this was like a 30-second or a minute-long commercial. So I do deep dives sometimes. So the woman who was speaking, she didn't say her name.
Okay.
And this commercial wasn't put out by the radio station.
Right. Probably put out by a PAC.
This is somebody paid for this. This is how they the sponsors paying for airtime. Yeah. So who put this message out? That's the question. Think about that. Who put this message out? What's the purpose of it? because every advertisement, there's a purpose behind it. And this is, because it's an election year, to try to get black people to think that the president is fighting for you, or that you need somebody to do that. And a good president wants to fight for everybody, like America first.
Right.
Let's put us first.
Yes.
I don't want to. I mean, just imagine, whatever race you are, think of a president giving more attention and privilege to a different race than yours. Like, I mean, we're not talking about the Special Olympics or handicapped people.
Right.
We're talking about able-bodied citizens with brain power. If you believe like I do that all men are created equal.
Yes.
I mean, so, there's different levels of intelligence and talent, but there's the same spectrum within every race, right?
Okay.
So just that thing. So somebody from the Biden campaign, the Democrats, put this out and parachuted it into the black community,
Right.
to let us know that he's thinking for us and fighting for us. I would like people to do this. If you're watching this on a platform where you can put comments, tell me a right that you don't have that someone else has.
Yes.
Tell me anything that you want to do that you're not able to do. And wanting to get somebody else's money or wanting the government to cut you a check, that doesn't count. That's not what I'm talking about. And do you really want the president or somebody to fight for you? You got to lower the bar for me. Lower the bar for me. I'm stupid. I can't jump as high as everybody else.
Right.
And you probably heard things about tests in schools.
Yes.
Where if there's a word problem for math, and then talking about Johnny or Susie in the suburbs with their apples, and where they're playing shoots and ladders or whatever, like if the culture of the story in the math problem is not something that we live out or experience, we can't get it right. We can't get the answer right.
Right. Okay, so yes, you got to dumb it down for us. That's what they were basically saying. You dumb it down, and then y'all will be okay. Instead of having them rise, or having us or whoever rise to the occasion. And because of things like that consistently being pushed in the schools on not just black folks, minorities, it's just everybody, just being pushed on everybody, then you have to have, quote unquote, have someone come into the community and say, I'm looking out for you. I'm fighting for you. I know what's best for you. That's ridiculous. There is nothing that anyone cannot do here in America because of their skin color. It is not. You're not a victim. You're making excuses. Okay. Yes, you'll have to work harder than others. Everybody doesn't start at the same starting line. But you work hard, you all get to the same finish line. The route's going to be different. The process is going to be different, that sort of thing. So again, and the goal is, if you have a president to say, oh, I know what's best for you, that's not the goal of the Constitution. Constitution is individual. Constitution and he doesn't know. He doesn't even know you exist. Much like, how does he know what's best for you when he doesn't even know you exist? So, the Constitution says the individual, move out of the way. It really wants government to move out of the way so the individual can achieve their dreams, their hopes, all that sort of stuff. It's often said, even the owners of these companies, the Home Depots and those kind of mega companies like even the Amazons maybe, that I don't know that can happen today because the government is so involved in everything that people are doing. It's literally impossible to create a Home Depot today of that size, of that magnitude, of that. It's just impossible because of the regulations that this government is putting on us. If you don't engage in politics, your paycheck is. Look at your paycheck. That's politics. So if you don't get involved, you are involved whether you want to be or not. So it just doesn't make sense. You can't let a government that doesn't know you exist think for you and make decisions for you.
And I want to remind people, because of this myth about white privilege and black people being disenfranchised and downtrodden. Right now, there are poor white people, young poor white people, because Jesus said the poor will always be with you. And it's no, is no discriminator of persons. Right. So that's just the way it is because of people's choices. Everyone does have the same opportunity. And there are thousands of whites that are on welfare, and there are, it's probably safe to say, hundreds of black people in America who are millionaires.
Yes.
All right. So without any legislation for diversity and inclusion, look at what has happened.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, divide and conquer. And while you were talking, I was thinking of a math problem that some people sound like they would want to have. Like if Leroy had 240 ounces of malt liquor and 3 oxtails and played 5 games of dominoes, what time would it be when the party's over?
Right.
Is that what you want?
Right. Is that the word problem you want? Really? Is that the word problem you can relate to?
I got to be represented.
And when it comes down to it, I doubt that there are many people, even black people, living like that. I truly doubt it. I mean, again, and what it does, it nullifies those of us who are really trying to raise the bar, who are really out there working it and pushing it and doing these things that need to be done so they can improve their lives and their families. It just completely negates those people, and that's not fine. That's not right. It's not fair.
But then, so with the commercial, where we started talking about that, that's typical. This is something that's been going on for a very long time. Now, today, on the way over here, I hear this commercial come on. I'm listening to a black radio station or, black music, and this commercial comes on. It's clearly a black man speaking. Right. And he's like, Joe Biden takes the black vote for granted. And he said he's crazy talking about that transgenderism is a modern day civil rights movement.
You're right.
And I'm like, what is going on? Am I dreaming? And this is on V103.
Oh, boy.
For people outside of Atlanta, that's the biggest radio station in Atlanta.
For black folks.
Yeah, right, for black music. And, this is a first. So it's so good to see. I mean, I'm never, and Inger and many people are never tribal. We're kind of led by logic and wanting to do the right thing and go with what's going to get the best results. So I don't just want people on voting for other candidates and other parties just because it's 90% Democrat with black people, which is the only race that has been so one-sided.
Yes.
There are reasons why, but it's just good to hear that somebody isn't, someone is thinking that we're not locked into this way of what we have to be on this team where all black people that have one drop of African blood, we put on the same jersey.
Right.
And now it's what's the soccer championship that comes every 4 years? It's the World Cup. It's the World Cup. I don't even know you, but you on this team. We're wearing the same uniform, and this is what we need to do. Without knowing or paying attention to whoever's on there. So that was a good thing to see and to know. Like somebody had the guts to put this out, and it's good because people are going to hear that. People are going to hear that, it's true. Sometimes you have to hear someone that talks like you or sounds like your race to get your attention. Truth is truth, right. But it's just, been these selective, controlled echo chambers.
Yes.
So it is really good to see that. And this is the last thing I'll say is just, again, there's some talk of Biden not having a debate with Trump because I'm not going to dignify someone who's been indicted for 90 plus things when really he doesn't have the mental capacity to handle himself in a debate. That's really what it is. So people just open your eyes. I mean, look, if you were, I don't care if class president in high school or college or whatever, if there's 90 things that your opponent did wrong, don't you want to get in a debate with this person? Or if you think that they're bad or wrong or that you're better for the job, why would you not want to, I'm not going to, this person I'm getting into a boxing match with, I'm not going to dignify getting in the ring with them because of who they are or whatever. That should make me want to get in there and beat them even worse.
Exactly.
And Pelosi started that.
Of course.
She's gone now, but with the last election,
that's where that
I'm
went.
not going to dignify someone is detestable.
Two things. You should, if you're going to vote for Biden, demand a debate. Why not? What is there? Why not? You can see what's going on. You can hear it for yourself. You don't have to go through the gauntlet of the press and what they think and what they're telling you to think and their analysis. Do your own. Listen to it for yourself. Secondly, if you're a Democrat and you're like on the fence and you're like, well, I don't know about Biden, but I don't know about Trump, vote for Trump. What's going to happen? What have you got to lose? Even Trump said that in 2016. What have you got to lose? Absolutely nothing. But insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's insanity. So you look at your receipts for going to shop. You look at your receipts for going to get groceries and gas and everything else you need. It's a lot more. You have to admit it's a lot more. So give yourself a chance, do something different, and see what happens.
Remember, Trump was president. Price of gas got down to, in Atlanta, what, $1.25? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you owe it, or it's owed to you for a debate. You deserve that. And, I'm still hearing people say, well, if Trump gets in there, it's going to be scorched earth. He's going to mess everything up and how bad it's going to be. And saw Kamala Harris earlier today or last night talking about when Trump said he's going to become dictator on the first day. Well, he didn't do that the last time. We're talking about a guy in his 70s who's set in his ways, good ways, but still they're trying to use that. So he did say that as a joke. He said the first day I'm going to be a dictator, meaning, just it's like a celebratory thing and you come in and you're signing things into law, but they're counting on you to be ignorant. We have 3 branches of government, co-equal branches. If the president wanted to, talking about he didn't want to leave when the election was over, he can't stay. He didn't physically try to stay there, but he contested the election. But when Stacey Abrams or Clinton say that the election was stolen, that's okay. That's not them trying to get in by ill means or try to stay in office.
Exactly. So you guys, you're being gaslit. Sorry, you're being gaslit. So step away from that and, do something different. It's election season. I encourage you to get involved with a candidate, a local candidate, a state candidate, a national candidate that you like. Help them on their campaign. They could really use it. It's time to get engaged, to get involved in the process. It's time to dig in. And you know what? By November 5th, it'll be over with. It'll all be done. But what you'll have gained an insight into the political process, how it works, why things happen the way they do, and you'll know your candidate a lot more or a lot better, win or lose. So I encourage you to do that. The primaries here in Georgia are in May, so make sure you get out and vote. And then go to your political conventions, your state conventions, that sort of thing. And definitely vote in November. But you guys, there's a lot of voting to happen between now and then, and there's a lot of time to get involved. So I encourage you to do that. And with that, thank you for listening to this episode of Brutally Honest Talk Radio. Wherever you are, we are. So catch us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Again, the gamut, where
Amazon.
You are. Amazon, exactly. And also leave us a comment on any of the social media channels to let us know what you think about what we think.
And if you like this, share it, send it out. If it has any value in it, as soon as you hear that, just send it, share it. We try to say things that other people haven't said, and that's what we want to get out is new ideas. So thank you, everybody. Take care of yourself, be safe, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Catch you next time.